Good morning, my loves. Hope you have a nice, tasty beverage. Um, I want to talk to the men, and I would like to talk to everyone, but mostly address men, cis men, and talking about dancing and praying and slut shaming. Um, First and foremost, everybody prays, whether or not you believe, well, regardless of what you believe. Um, Prayer, essentially, boil it down, is thoughts going out to the universe, to a higher power, asking for help, support, whether it be financial or emotional, physical. Something we're lacking, understanding, um, or celebration. Uh, but I'm going to start with, there've been a lot of deaths. We've lost millions and millions of people in the last few years, just unnecessarily. The COVID deaths, the mass shootings, the suicides, the wars, a lot of dying, and I've seen this. I see this more and more often. Um, and I've seen pictures and videos talking about twerking and criticizing people for twerking at funerals. And I would like to, I want to ask you to try and hold your judgment and listen and understand why. I'll give you some information. No, this is rambling on. I apologize. So we've seen images of people, uh, most often women, on coffins and prostrated, dancing, twerking um, for loved ones, parents, grandfathers, boyfriends, community members, and the thing we've forgotten is that our emotions are so strong that there's the reason we dance and sing is because it's a physical manifestation of a prayer. So most prayers are just silent, contemplative thought that go out into the universe. Please bow your heads and pray silently. Moment of silence. But what do you do when you pray out loud? Sing a hymn together? You sometimes sway and dance in church, raise your hands, share, or my background, Catholicism, it was much more reserved. And the church, the colonization is eradication and getting them to conform and get in line. And so colonizers go around the world and they find a nice little place. They like, hey, I think I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna live here. And so what they do, instead of getting to know the community and group of people, is just destroy it, shame people, and demonize them and tell them that they're stupid and dumb, lazy for their hair styles, their clothes, the manners, the way of speaking, but most especially for dancing. Um, and twerking is not new. This goes to my little pasty white family who don't understand. Um, let's talk about awake. What do you do to wake? Usually it's celebration of life, a lot of drinking, storytelling, sharing stories, laughter through tears, memories, honoring them, promising to carry forward in the future. Um, and even that's been taken away. We used to have huge celebrations. It wasn't just an hour or two or one day. It was often days and weeks where we would, in the most ancient times, we would rip our clothes and rip our hair out and cover ourselves in ashes and wail and moan and cry and public. And it was recognized and honored, and it was not unusual. There wasn't the quiet stoicism that we expect in America. The iconic image of Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, Coretta Scott King, and her stoic silence. Jackie Kennedy, stoic silence. Church, the church and colonizers and they like to model that you should be reserved. No emotions, no joy, no sadness, no dancing, no sex. Everything is shamed. So men, back to you. Uh, when you criticize people, but most especially women who are already marginalized and do not have your rights, we do not have equality because our genitalia are inside of our bodies as opposed to being outside. We are oppressed. And because our genitalia are on the inside, we must keep our emotions and feelings and needs inside and silent and quiet and suffer in silence. And that's bullshit. That kills us. Now, why do we twerk? Why do we dance? Why do we have fertility celebrations? Um, it's a promise. It's a promise to our parents and our ancestors to continue to procreate and to have children. It is celebrating our fertility and the gift of life and the ability to create it and bring it forth. Because pregnancy and childbirth is so dangerous. The majority of the world has more deaths have happened because of births after religion. Um, and so when something, women know the risks, mostly, not so much anymore because we've stopped teaching it. It was silence. You know, uh, pregnancy is it completely changes the body, and you're never the same. I mean, truly, on a genetic level, your chemistries and your body and your hair changes textures, and the physical time to recover from pregnancy and birth is typically 1 to 2 years. Just because you don't see the healing doesn't mean it's not healing because it's on the inside. And we are shamed everywhere we turn for every emotion, for anger, for sadness, for joy, for happiness. We're just not supposed to do anything. And it's not right. And men especially, you're so good at this. You've been taught and indoctrinated to be so hypercritical and to be our gatekeepers, to be women's gatekeepers and oppressors and jailers and wardens. You keep us in line. They don't have to pay you. They don't put you on a payroll. You are tools of the system, and you're oppressing yourself. We seem to believe we've swallowed and ingested and completely become part of the belief that no one has value in this world, and the only value a woman has, or a person who can become pregnant, is for reproduction. Not even the rearing of the child is viewed as sacred and important and worth value. We don't pay parents to stay home with the children. They do in other countries. France, they pay someone to come in your home and to help you to do things like laundry, dishes, change the baby, grocery shopping. Those things help, meal preparation, all those things that you need help with. And it's not for just a week or two, it's for a year or two. You need that support. It's hard bringing another life in this world. And we want to keep doing it. We do, but we're scared. Women and people have chosen and have been choosing for decades to stop having children because they don't see it as fair to bring children into this world. And that's why the people in this country are so adamant about removing abortion rights, because they're in a panic. We've taken our own bodily autonomy, and we're very proud of it. And we're saying you're making us choose, and we don't want to choose. And this is a long one, and I'm doing a live. This is an experiment. I don't know if anybody will ever join. I might just be talking to myself. I'm hoping, speaking to the void, somebody will listen and want to hear it. But again, dancing, singing, it's all praying. Whether you're happy or sad or joyful, it, it's not something to be criticized or to hide or be ashamed of. Our bodies are beautiful and perfect, and we should show them. We shouldn't have to hide them. If we want to, that should be okay too, because it's our body, and we get to choose how we want to present it, how we want other people to see it or not see it. Our style, our clothes, the colors we wear, our hair, short or long or dyed, or these are all choices we get to make as an individual. And the right to have a child is so precious. And it is a medical health care decision, first and foremost, before anything else. A person who can become pregnant has huge medical decisions to make before they ever think about finances or housing or parenting. You first have to address the health issue. And we've taken that away from millions and millions of people in this country. And the men in this country have helped. You criticize us and shame us, telling us that we're sluts if we enjoy our bodies and sexuality and choose to use and enjoy our bodies and not reproduce. That's okay. Some bodies can't reproduce. Um, for 39 years, you know, as an adult, I wasn't able to I was told I wasn't able to have children. I suffered terribly from endometriosis. In 2001, I nearly died from lack of blood. I needed a blood transfusion and to be in the hospital because I had bled for a year straight out of my uterus. Most men don't understand that. You can't control that. I had constant, nonstop bleeding for more than a year. Spots, clots. Have you ever had a blood clot? Blood clot, the size of your fist, come out of your body? You don't have control of that, and it's so painful and scary. And I had to have a DNC hysteroscopy. That's a dilation and curettage. And essentially what they do is they put you to sleep and they give you medicine to cause your uterus, your vagina to expand so they can get to your uterus and get inside cervix. And essentially a DNC is essentially an abortion without uh, insemination, unfertilized eggs. And they can be a serious problem. They can kill people very, very rapidly. And I was dying because I was full of these tumors, these fibroids, and they had to be scraped out and removed. And it was so painful. It was horrifying. It was just I didn't know how to process it, and you weren't supposed to talk about it. So what do you do? And now people are dying because of that situation. Like, I was very fortunate to live, but there's people dying right now today from ectopic pregnancies. That's where the egg gets stuck in your fallopian tubes, and it's not viable. What that means is it doesn't matter what a doctor does, that will never grow and develop into a person, a child. It will actually kill the pregnant person. And we're having people die today because they can't get abortions. They can't have their health care. We are denying people health care. We are telling people, you don't deserve to live. You don't deserve to make your choices. You must die because you have reproductive organs that function or don't function. Doesn't matter. They don't care. They just want control. They just want you to make babies and give them to them so they can do with them as they please. And men, you're being a tool to this. You're helping them. That you take away our autonomy. And I talked about disability and disability rights in the previous one. You can be disabled at any time. And things that are very simple to be diagnosed as a disability, like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. What's going on in the world right now? Do you know anyone who isn't struggling with sadness, depression, anxiety, PTSD, post-COVID trauma? I I don't think it's every person in this country, But if you want to get technical, if you really, really wanted to get technical, and you had a government overreach into the medical area, and you had doctors and professionals, nurses, saying that a person is disabled with a mental health issue, and then immediately their rights are taken away. Remember recently Britney Spears? Her father was the conservator of her estate. She had no no ability to make decisions for herself. They put a intrauterine device to prevent her from becoming pregnant. See, because she was disabled, so she wasn't able to make those decisions for herself. Now they're doing that to every person, man or woman. This doesn't just affect uterus holders. They've taken away a man's choice to choose to bear children. And a man shouldn't have to sacrifice his fertility. You shouldn't have to go have a vasectomy. That's so violent and traumatic and oppressive. And it's letting them win out of fear. So instead of criticizing, support each other. And that's why women are so frustrated with men. And I'm saying it in the sort of Americanized Western world, is because again, women, it's lorded over us every moment of every day, that at any moment we can lose our rights and have our voices taken away and be committed. Ask me how I know, because it's happened to me. And my child was taken from me, and I had to fight to get her back. I've had police and child protective services show up at my door 2, 3 in the morning because someone told them that I was a negligent, abusive parent, and that my child was in risk and in danger. Fortunately, I'm privileged enough to be educated and to have this pasty white skin, and could communicate to the police officers and the agencies that no, and I have to let them in no matter what, regardless, until my child is of legal age. If the police or child protective services or any agency of the state comes to my door, I have to let them in. I mean, I could say no. I could. I could technically say no. But they would come back in about 20 or 30 minutes with a warrant and remove my child. And again, I'm not being inflammatory. This is the truth and the reality. And it happens every day. This apartment we moved into in December. We were forced to move, terrible landlords, forced to move out of state during everything going on. And since we've been here, and it's a nice area near city center. Lots of trees and people walking their dogs. And I live in a decent apartment complex. We have, a pool and stuff. Pick up the trash. But I've seen this man, this state agent, this child protective services. I've seen this man more times than I've seen the maintenance man here who lives here and works here. The child protective agent is here knocking on doors. I have a neighbor who lives just over there, just a few feet away. If I were to walk to my bedroom, the back of the apartment, her bedroom is up above on the other side. We share a wall. She's on her third round of cancer. And last week, because her child was too honest with their therapist about being sad and having suicidal ideation because they're scared. Mommy's sick and might die. And so this child is just terrified and talked honestly about it to the therapist, the safe space that I helped to find for them. And now they're having to fight to stay together. They wanted to remove the child from the home. This isn't how you help people. You don't rip families apart. We're living in a prison. You don't have to wear a uniform or carry a badge to be a jailer. Men, we see you. We love you. We're so frustrated because we see you love and support each other. We see these beautiful boys who make friends when they're just little peanuts. Little rugrats. And they make a friend with the boy or girl who lived next door, or that they met in kindergarten and preschool, first grade, third grade. And we watch you, you men. We women, we watch you. And you have these beautiful relationships. You're there for each other. Oh my God. Every Thursday you play basketball. Every Saturday you play golf. Every Tuesday you go to the barbershop and you get your hair cut. Every December you guys rent a cabin and go fishing, skiing, hunting, I don't know, whatever. You're there. Grill for each other. You buy beer for each other. You help work on each other's cars. You support and love unconditionally, men. You're beautiful. So why can't you do that with us? We don't understand. We're there for you. We support you. We love you. We have your children. We take care of your homes. We work and provide. Why don't we get the same respect? Who told you to disrespect us? Who told you that you should just go and be with as many men as possible? And that was what a man does. That's how you get your man card. Not for a woman, is it? What happens if a woman is active sexually? She's shamed. So when I found out I was pregnant at 39, I was homeless, living in a shelter, had a partner who we weren't exclusive, but didn't think that we could have kids and get pregnant and a lot of stuff. But every man that I spoke to was very angry at me. How dare I get pregnant? They all wanted me to have abortions. Oh my gosh. Threatened? It was my fault. Did it all myself. But it's just, none of us are in this alone. We need each other. And as long as we continue to let us let them rip us apart and separate us and shame us into submission, shame us into being reporters and tattletelling on each other. Encourage toxic masculinity. Hey, boys, come tell me your story. Oh, yeah, you went out last night? Cool. Yeah, did you get lucky? Yeah, cool. What's her name? Where does she live? How'd you meet? That's how they'll use you against us. That is how they use you against us. You'll be an informant without even realizing it. You are now. And you don't know who to trust because you can't trust anyone. That's the state of this country. It's so toxic and systemic. Can't fix it. I can't tell you what to do. I can just maybe answer questions, ask some questions, make you think, help explain and understand. I know this is a long stream. I'm just getting started. This is my safe space. And when I can't sleep and I wake up in the morning and I have my thoughts that I need to share, and this one was just really important. But the shaming, because you don't understand, because you weren't taught, we weren't allowed to teach it and share the knowledge of why we dance and sing and pray and cry and laugh. It's all part of the human experience. We should have all of those rights and have the unconditional love and support of each other and keep each other in line. Call each other out. If you have a friend and he's disrespectful to any other person, regardless of gender, hey, man, it's not cool. That's all it takes. That one simple act, the look. We're in this together. It's a shit show. It really is. And it goes so deep, and every action has been so meticulously thought. This oppression, they've worked on it for thousands of years, and we have to hurry and catch up. So let me help you before you wind up a red bloody splot on the wall and just another statistic. So men, we need you. We desperately need you. You still have your rights today. You have got to stand up and fight. This isn't just about women. This is about you too. How many children do you want to have? When do you want to have them? Who do you want to have them with? They've taken these choices away from you too. It's going to be a hard, scary fight. But we have each other. And I've got toolbox and a brain overflowing with information and help and support and compassion and understanding and safety. And I'm not perfect. I'm gonna say things wrong and get it wrong, but but I'm here for you and me. And again, hopefully we can get through this together. But I love you, and you're perfect. Bye-bye.